Welcome to CinemaScope. I'm Nathan Travis. Today I'm talking about Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. The Wrath of Khan was released on the 4th of June in the US and the 18th of July in the UK. The movie's budget was around $11 million and took $80 million worldwide. It cost a lot less than the 1979 Star Trek The Motion Picture, as that movie had a troubled production and an unfinished script, which caused the movie's production budget to balloon to $35 million, with a similar worldwide gross to The Wrath of Khan. Wrath of Khan. Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, was demoted to consultant on this movie, as on the previous one he was interfering a little bit too much, shall we say, and causing a ruckus with constant script changes and new ideas. TV producer Harve Bennett was brought on board to make sure the production was on time and within the smaller budget. Director Nicholas Meyer was hired to helm The Wrath of Khan after his successful movie Time After Time, which happened to be 1979, same as the motion picture. Great film. It also starred Cats. It also starred David Warner and Malcolm McDowell, which both went on to be in Star Trek productions. Fucking arsehole. It's supposed to be a closed set. The Wrath of Khan is a direct sequel to the Season 1 episode of the original series, Space Seed, where the antagonist, Khan, a genetically superior human being from the late 20th century, 1997 I believe, 96, it's been a while. He was left marooned on the planet Ceti Alpha 5 after he tried to murder Kirk and take over the Enterprise. Unfortunately, Kirk never bothered to check back on him, and there was some problems with the planet exploding. So Khan, a little bit pissed off, and wants some payback. It's not your typical revenge flick. You know, we're not talking about Laura Biden's Citizen with Gerard Butler. But Khan did want some payback. He wanted Kirk to pay. Now, this movie is a personal favourite of mine. I watch it at least once or twice a year. Seen it over 25, 30 times. First saw it when it came out on TV in the 80s. Probably about 7 or 8 years old. I love it. The themes of ageing. I mean, the revenge is there, but it's not what it's really about. It's really about Kirk getting old and not being in command of the Enterprise anymore. Having a desk job at 50. After Khan escapes Ceti Alpha 5 via the USS Reliant, where Chekhov is the first officer, actually not on the Enterprise anymore, been promoted. Good to see that, good to see some change on the original cast and crew. You know, Khan takes over the Reliant, catches up with Kirk and, fires a couple of volleys at Enterprise, an unexpected Enterprise. So Kirk's been out of it for a while, so he's not fully on board with all the new regulations, as Lieutenant Savick, one of the new characters, new cadet played by Kirstie Alley. The Enterprise takes a beating. Engineering gets hit, cadets get injured, they're scared. You know, the Enterprise is not the ship it used to be, just a boatload of kids. They know what they're doing. And their first mission happens to be an utter disaster. It's got some of the best space battles in any Star Trek movie. Nice and slow. Nicholas Meyer wanted to bring this military submarine vibe, you know, two captains coming at each other. No spinning around and firing weapons every 5 seconds. Nice and slow. Great effects from ILM. Beautiful effects, beautiful models. The refit Constitution class is still my favourite ship, personally. Well, I love the Galaxy. Love TNG, love the Galaxy class, but the Constitution class refit, it's just, she's a beaut. Really is nice. When they go for the Nebula, you know, the old cat and mouse, sensors are down, they can't see each other. Oh, awesome, love it. And of course, we can't go on without mentioning that amazing score by James Horner, his first big movie. And boy, didn't he do a great job. Let's hear a little sample right now. What do you mean? We can't play it? Why not? Copyright. Son of a bitch. Although we can't hear it, I'm sure you all know and agree that it is a fabulous score. Battle in the Mutari Nebula, the Genesis Countdown, and even the quieter times like Spock's cabin, when Kirk and Spock are having that lovely conversation. It was a mistake for you to give up command. So good. In fact, you know what? That's probably my favourite scene in the whole film. I love it. So good. Now, the performances in this movie, very good. This is the best we've ever seen the original cast act in any of the Star Trek productions, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion. The first movie was a bit slow, a bit pondering, all the script changes, they weren't too sure what was going on. Hard to get back into character with that kind of thing, especially for Leonard Nimoy as Spock, which is why I want to leave after the motion picture, and I don't really blame him. The movie took money, but it wasn't critically acclaimed. In this movie, he said, "This is it, this is the last one, I'll not do any more, kill me off, I'm dead." But of course, he had a lot of fun making the movie. When you're working with a good script, a good director, a good producer, everything flows and works well together, you want to keep that up. Of course, he was killed off. He's like, well, I want to keep on, I want to come back to Spock. You know, I want to revisit Spock again after this. And then, of course, we got Star Trek 3 a couple of years later, where he actually directed it. One of his deals with Paramount bosses. Good deal. And of course, James Doohan gives an amazing performance too, as Scotty, when his nephew gets severely injured in the engine room. Although this is the only part of the movie I think was a little odd and a little strange. It's like, well, why the hell did he do that? Why did he take his dying, burning nephew to the bridge instead of sickbay? Sickbay first, you don't go to the bridge. You know, there weren't any medics on the goddamn bridge. McCoy was in sickbay. That's the only bad thing about this movie. I can understand why the director wanted to do it, because it was very dramatic, and we got to see some emotion from Saavik and even Spock. The performances, excellent. William Shatner, spot on. The last scene when they come, when he finds Spock in the engine room, all radiated, still brings a tear to the eye. It's a beautiful movie. In many ways, it was a soft reboot, the Wrath of Khan. The lighting changed, the uniforms changed. You know, I love those military-style uniforms compared to the pyjama-style jumpsuits they had in the first movie. Not very flattering. So they kind of went back to the drawing board, and for all intents and purposes, it worked. The Wrath of Khan was critically acclaimed, took a good amount of money, fans loved it, and then we had another 4 movies after this. Amazing. When The Wrath of Khan was released in cinemas in the UK, it was certified a 15 rating. Pretty high for a Star Trek movie. But then when you got creatures that bury themselves into your ears, and murder and blood, people getting vaporised, it's probably about right. Now it has been recertified 12A if you buy it on DVD or Blu-ray. While we're talking about the SETI ills, weren't they scary? Eh? Imagine that. Your helmet locked, and one of those ills inside burrowing into your bloody ear. Scary stuff for Star Trek, although TOS is full of horror. Gets away with it because it was science fiction. But Star Trek's always had some good scares in it. Look at season 1 of TNG, Conspiracy Theory. Old Remick, you know? Guess all that power went to his head. And Khan is such a good villain too. Not just because he wants revenge. Just because, I don't know, he's well versed in the Shakespeare, as is Kirk. That's always been a theme of Star Trek, especially the original series and the original movies. And he's got such presence, and even though he's getting on a bit, he's still got that physical presence too. You know, Ricardo Montalban did have some reservations on returning after being on Fantasy Island, the TV show, back in the 70s, which was very successful. He thought he would struggle coming back to play Khan after all those years. But he did a fabulous job. did an amazing job. And of course, Kirk and Khan don't even meet on the actual film. Never come face to face, which I think is perfect. All done over view screen. Perfect. Love it. The end of the movie has Spock sacrificing himself to save the Enterprise. And the Genesis planet is created, which sets up the third movie. And of course the end was a little reshoot. The shot of Spock's coffin. I think they went to Hawaii to shoot that, the only location shoot in the entire movie. That was like a little pickup scene, so we had this little thing where, you know, Spock might still be alive. There's his coffin, lying on the floor, unscathed. Lucky him. And he'll be back. Well, I think it's time to give the Wrath of Khan a score. I personally use IMDb quite a lot. In fact, every day I'm on it. Looking up movie trivia. I just love movie trivia and information, and also of course what other people think. But at the moment, it's standing at a 7.7 out of 10, which personally I think is very low. I mean, I rated it a 10 out of 10 because it's one of my top 5 movies. I think it deserves at least an 8.2. So what are your thoughts on the Wrath of Khan? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's just okay? Leave a comment. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Nathan Travis, and this is CinemaScope. Goodbye.